सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. I request all participants who can turn on the video feeds, please do turn on the video feeds. It's much more easier to interact. So with this, we are ready to begin our session. We are continuing in the third Adhyay of the Bhagavad Gita from Shloka number 9 onwards. Can someone recollect what is it that we've seen? Yes, please. Anybody? We found the link and we move ahead. Yes, please.
So Krishna was explaining to Arjun's questions about Sthita Pragna and how it behaves and all. Then how to reach at that state. So
Ji.
Krishna explains the ways how can we reach there. So there are some dangers like our senses. Okay, so in this shloka, Krishna explains how we can control our minds. What is the need of controlled mind? Because our mind follows the wandering senses. So, uncontrolled senses drag away a person's intelligence like a windswept boat. So, if the senses are held in check, the intellect will not be swayed from the true path of divine wisdom. Krishna has used day and night as metaphor to explain this, to show how a person with mundane consciousness and an awakened one has different views on the sensory pleasure. One will consider the worldly pleasure as the success in life, that is day for them, and the sage sees the same enjoyment as harmful for the soul. So it is night for them, and vice versa. It is.
Okay. Yes, just one question, Gayatri ji. So, this material wealth, that is something which is considered by the sages, or what is Krishna talking about it? It is something which is to be stay away from. What is that Krishna has talked about?
Stay away from that material desires, greed, ego,
Okay.
proprietorship.
Acha. Yes, ji. But then was Krishna himself very poor?
No,
No.
but
Then, then
with
what is? Yes, ji. Yes,
yeah,
please.
the next is like
Shashi ji
in the
wants to
next
add
sloka.
something. Shashi ji wants to add something. Yes, ji.
I just wanted to say
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with wealth,
Yeah.
not to be attached to it and use it for the good.
Yes, yes, yes. That is interesting, isn't it? And Krishna has not told to discard wealth as such, but probably the attachment, because wealth is also a important. We can say we do upasana of Mahalakshmi also, isn't it? And
Yes.
prosperity is a manifestation of wealth. Means, but there is a old school of thought. I'll just come to one moment, Gayatri. I'll just come to that because there is an old school of thought which says spirituality is against. Means there's one ism which is materialism, another ism which is spiritualism. Both are not able to see any reconciliation. But a spiritual person does not have to abhor or detest or stay away from the material world. Only, as Shashiji pointed out to us, that we have to not get attached. And it is like, has anybody heard of a book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari?
Yes, Robin
Yes.
Sharma.
Yes, and the Gita tells us we don't have to be a monk who sells the Ferrari when you can be a monk in the Ferrari also. So something like that, that material and spiritual, that divide is something which Krishna is erasing. Please continue, Ji. Yes, Ji.
Okay. So the person with the steady mind absorbs all worldly pleasures in it without being affected.
Ji.
That is called in the, just like an ocean remains undisturbed uh, while the waters of the river merges into it and it doesn't
Absolutely.
overflow and all.
Yes.
So we have to attain a calm mind. So
Ji.
that will give us shanti, the
Okay.
supreme
Yes, Ji.
peace, and
Yes,
not
Ji.
that one who desires all this. and gets affected by this. So Krishna advises Arjun to give up all these materialistic material desires, then greed, ego, and this possessiveness, proprietorship. So all these
Yeah.
things can disturb a person to reach the Brahman.
Ji.
So, and the
This.
person who is detached from all this, being absorbed in him and is detached, he will be in the thought of Brahman at the end, at the time of
If
his death. Antakale api
if he
brahmana
is
brahma
able to keep
nirvana.
that, yeah, if he is able to maintain it up to the last moment, we can get Brahma Nirvana. The person, the soul attains Brahma Nirvana. But there's a big problem here that we don't know, isn't it? When is the last moment?
Yeah. So
So, what
every
is the
moment we have
solution?
to,
Ha, absolutely, perfectly said, Gayatriji. That
every moment we
let us
should.
assume every moment is the last moment we have. So why not be conscious at every moment? We can actually think of the divine. We don't have to wait or out of fear. Ki only in that last moment I will try to remember. Yes, please. Yes, ji.
And by this, the second Adhyay is complete and we are entering in the third Adhyay.
Ji.
Then here Arjun is confused.
Showing his
He
report
asks,
card.
showing his
Yeah.
report card. So if
Yeah.
you, he asks Krishna, if you believe that knowledge is superior than action, then why are you getting me in this terrible war and everything? So you are confusing me, he says to Krishna, that you are confusing me with your words. And so tell me one thing confirmatively. What should I do
Yeah.
well, to
Which
the
is going to
welfare?
be profitable to
Uh,
me. Yat
Profitable
Shreya.
to me. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Shreya. So Krishna replies, already Krishna has explained two paths, those leads to enlightenment. One for those who are inclined towards the path of knowledge, knowing the self through the intellectual analysis, and the second for those who are inclined to actions. So here Krishna gives us freedom for every being that you choose your path according to your wish. So, but one thing is that action and knowledge is compulsory. Nobody can remain inactive for even a moment because everyone is forced to act by their mode of nature, this Prakruti Jair Gunaihi.
Action is always
So,
happening at every
action is
moment.
always happening. If one person stubbornly suppresses all senses and keeps contemplating the object of those senses in mind, is hypocrite because it's not possible without attaining that consciousness. So,
In a way,
it's
we can
called,
say that Krishna is asking us to transcend naturally, isn't it? Not
yeah,
by
naturally,
force,
not by
sudden, not
force.
by force, but we must understand that these are limitations, and all limitations will not be erased just like that. They may take time, but we must ensure that we transcend. We do not suppress something and just
Yeah,
rigidly enter
natural.
it. Yeah. Yes, please,
Yes.
ji.
Okay. So,
Sorry, may I interrupt,
Yes, ji.
Gayatri ji?
Yes, please.
Gayatri ji, a few minutes ago you said Sri Krishna asked Arjun to give up his wealth. In which verse
no,
does it
not
say that?
No,
not
no, he
wealth,
did not. That
material
was just,
desire,
it was when we discussed that it
Desire.
was not there. Yeah, he did not. Nowhere is
material,
Krishna. Krishna is not asking to give up the wealth at all.
only the desire.
Only the
Big-
desire. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ji. Please continue, ji. Yes, ji.
But the man who, having subdued the senses with his mind and being detached, practicing karma yoga, the word is used in that shloka, karma yoga, with
Yeah,
all his
but
senses.
yes, but we will just call it yoga through karma
Okay,
because we are going now and like we're going to understand the dynamicness of all three yogas
okay,
intertwining throughout the adhyas. So we
okay,
will not consider each as a separate way.
okay.
But you can call it how you wish to, ji. Yes, please. Because karma yogam
No, please
asaktaha
correct me
savrishishyate.
because I am also learning.
No, no,
I'm
we are
doing
all
just
learning, of
homework and
course.
explaining.
No, 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 please continue, ji. It is very nicely you are summarizing it. We are getting all the shlokas covered in a very short time, which is itself quite a difficult feat. Yes, please.
Thank you. So, practicing yoga with karma, with all his senses, that yogi is best. Karmendraihi karma yogam asaktaha savishishyate. Therefore, perform your duties, swadharma, every day because action is superior than inaction. Otherwise, without action, even your bodily maintenance would not be possible. So,
Yes,
everybody
yes,
has to do his swadharma.
absolutely. Thank you, Gayatri ji, for bringing us up to date. So this is something very interesting. When your body also, you cannot sustain your life's journey without doing action. What sadhana are you going to achieve by neglecting your duties or action? Krishna is very clear to Arjuna here. And he is talking about to Arjuna's question as if, why are you confusing me? Krishna said, there is no confusion at all. It is in your mind that you have made a distinction that one is the ghor karma of yuddha and another is the highest knowledge which will come through realization. What Krishna is saying, perform your duty, even if it is a ghor karma behind that duty, you can find the higher knowledge, you will receive it. It is not by neglecting duties that you will receive a higher knowledge. That was something Krishna pointed out. Let us continue further because in the second Adhyay, Krishna talked about Karma Yoga. And he said, Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. The smallest action done in a proper manner, proper in the sense in a conscious manner, can protect us from the greatest danger. Like we say, a stitch in time saves nine, something like that. A small action, but when done properly, that becomes your shield, that becomes your protection from a danger which might be very huge. You can put that away. That is talking about the consciousness only here. So let us see. Krishna talks further, something here in the ninth shloka. Yajnatha karmano niyatra loko yam karma bandhanaha tadhartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samacharaha. This is a beautiful word, mukta sangha. Anybody knows the word sangha means what? Anybody?
Un-
Union.
Union.
Union, isn't it? Sangha means union. And what does mukta means?
Free.
Free.
Without attachment, free. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mukta means free. Mukti, ultimate mukti is freedom. It is a free. Now, united means being bound. Mukta means being free. And there is made it is made into a one word, Mukta Sangha. Or as Sri Aurobindo has beautifully said, free union. This is a very beautiful concept in this shloka. Let us see what it means first. Krishna says, accept the actions that are performed in a state of sacrifice, chained to karma's bonds, are all actions done otherwise. That is why, O Arjuna, your actions you regulate with a freedom of detachment that I postulate. Krishna is saying detachment is actually a freedom. But how does one realize it? Unless one decides, one has to take an initiative. Yes, I will withdraw. Withdrawal means not becoming aloof or not becoming indifferent. In one session, I had a very interesting experience. It was a little later Adhyay where we were studying. One participant was saying she was very worried about her mother-in-law, always judging her. Said Krishna has told in the Gita that you should not be disturbed by what people tell and you should not be affected. Nobody is going to define you. That was what was the shloka which we were looking, and I told her. Next day she came and told me that now her mother-in-law is very angry with her. You only told me detachment. And I was very surprised. I said, ma'am, what is it that has happened? She said, now I have stopped responding to her only or reacting to her. Now she says, I should don't care if I live or die. Also, you are behaving in such a manner. Because that is not detachment, isn't it? Detachment does not mean indifference. If we can love somebody, should we love with conditions, terms and conditions? Should we bind somebody? That is actually, you are supposed, if you are having love and you are binding, it is not love, it is possession, isn't it? You are possessive, you are manipulative, X, Y, Z, all factors come into play because it is getting distorted. It is not the true meaning. True meaning of detachment is letting go. But letting go does not mean letting go of your duty. So it's a very interesting, fine line, what we call detachment. In English, it is called detachment. A Sanskrit word is very nice, free union. I think in friends,
Asakta.
among, yes, Gayatri ji?
Asakta.
Asakta, yes, Asakta
Asakta.
Sang, yes, yes, yes. Or it's also, and elsewhere it is called Asanga also in the Gita. Asanga Shastrena Dhrudena Chitva. This is a weapon. Elsewhere, Krishna calls it a weapon, detachment as a weapon. How do we identify this? Anyone? When can detachment be like a weapon for us in life?
Then you're not being led by it. You free from any
Manipulations.
comebacks,
Yes.
any karma, because there's such a thing as negative karma and positive karma as
Okay,
well.
yes, yes, that is one way of looking at it. Now, if we say, just if we look at simple relationships also, when is detachment a weapon for us? When we are in a very disturbed relationship,
It
isn't
will
it?
not
Gayatri?
disturb us. It will not
Yes,
disturb our mental
yes.
condition.
Yes, imagine if somebody is in a some kind of psychotic relationship, somebody is manipulating one person continuously, ordering and forcing, and because this person is not able to get detached, this person is getting affected. So the person is able to come out of that one step behind. Immediately that person can become free. Same way, how here Krishna is talking about a freedom. It is when will we like our, if we say a moment with our best friends, if we spend, what is it that we like the most? We are free, no? When we are with our friends, we are best friend, we can say, if we have one. We are free to be how we want to be. We are not being forced. We are not being asked. You do something, you're not doing it because you are going to get something in return, or your friend is also not doing. That is a real Maitri, isn't it? Without expectations. And that is really a freedom. I think we should try to experience that freedom in every aspect. When we are praying, also, should we always pray because I want this in return to the divine? Or we
Mm.
can pray very happily with the most powerful prayer, the strongest mantra in the world. Dhanyosmi. Thank you. Why do we want to keep asking and getting everything from God? Instead, we express gratitude and a thanks for all that is there. That will be a elevated prayer in itself. So this freedom which is there, that is what Krishna is offering when he's saying, if you perform actions with in a state of sacrifice, except the actions that are done as a sacrifice, chained to karma's bonds are all actions done otherwise. That is why, O Arjuna, meaning Krishna is introducing now a concept called sacrifice. But sacrifice means losing, no?
No, not
No?
with the right mental attitude.
Not with, okay, if the attitude is right, if you are having a right mental attitude, you will not feel sacrifice is losing, isn't it? I think we can all go back to our memories when we were very young. Some elder or someone, a mother or a mother figure, someone cooks for us something. We feel very nice, isn't it? And when they give us something, somebody gives us love. Do they count? Okay, here I'm giving you one chapati. Now that's my one chapati I've given you. Now here's the second one. Now here's the third one. No, isn't it? It is given without a worry. Sometimes these cooks don't get to eat their own food. They cook for so many people, and by the time they get a turn to anybody has tried cooking for others in our group?
Every day I cook for
Every
my
day.
family.
Okay, yes. Okay. Pankaj also has raised the hand. It is actually not one person, one gender's
Sometimes my
cooking is
husband
for
also cook for
everybody.
us.
Yes. Yes. My Guruji says every sadhak first thing they should learn is cooking. Otherwise, sadhana is not possible. But this is a very beautiful aspect that when we cook, and we must have experienced that when we feed somebody else, though we are not getting anything directly, you suddenly get some kind of trupti or some kind of satisfaction. You feel, oh, my stomach is full, but I didn't eat anything. No, look at all the happy
If
faces there who have eaten the food. That gives us a
someone
satisfaction.
praises our food now, yeah, it's yummy.
Yes,
Then
Ji?
already we are full.
Yeah, but if they praise, if they don't, if they criticize, then if we are attaching to praise, we will have a trouble of getting attached to criticism also. Instead, if we just do it as a sacrifice, I've done one with a joy, because the real sacrifice is a sacrifice that is done with love. Otherwise, it is what we call some kind of compromise, isn't it? It's not real sacrifice. You're doing it out of a force. Somebody has lots of black money, and then the auditor says, "Hey, I can't do anything. You better go and give donation there. Get me a receipt." Ah, yes, yes. So that person goes and gives a donation and gets that receipt. Now, is that a real sacrifice or dana, or it is just some kind of action done out of a compulsion? So, real sacrifice, an action that is done in a real sacrifice, that does not go to waste, is what Krishna is saying. Except an action that is done in state of sacrifice, all actions lead to karma bandhanas. Karmic consequences, new sanskaras are created. We will see what these are a little bit later. But when you start doing everything with an expectation, you are going to bind yourself in some factor or the other. Having expectation also does not guarantee a outcome, but it actually guarantees that you are going to get trapped in a cycle of events. Instead, do your duty without a single worry. That is what Krishna is saying, because you will not add any karma. If you see, even in the Isha Upanishad, the very second verse of the Upanishad, the yogi, the Rishi of the Upanishad says this simple principle, which is very much resonant with this ninth shloka of the third Adhyay. Kurvan neveha karmani jijivishe chatam sama evam tvai nanyat hetosti na karma lipyate nare. Meaning you will not get a single karma bound on you when you do this action in a state of mind of sacrifice, sacrificing all to the divine. Nothing belongs to me. I am doing an action, but I have offered to the divine. There's a nice Sanskrit shloka or verse or phrase. Naham karta, harihi karta. I am not the doer. I think in this simple prayer, everybody must have heard it. Tera tujhko arpan, kya lage mera. Nothing belongs to me. Criticism also will go to the divine only, no? I have offered it to the divine. Praise also, praise the divine. Criticize also, you won't criticize the divine. I am just the medium. I am doing that. So when you do such actions with this kind of attitude, Krishna says you are actually not going to be creating new ripples. You're not going to be creating new karmic bonds. That is one interesting thing that Krishna has shared. Many times we don't realize how we get trapped. Sometimes words which we utter also gets us trapped, and we realize the consequences 10 years later. I remembered one friend of mine got angry with me for some jokes I had cracked when I was in class 8 and class 9. That he tells me after he's become a psychiatrist that you had done this. And I was so surprised that everybody would joke, but only what I would say had a very strong impact on him. So then I had to go and apologize. It was a stupid, just general dialogue only, but I didn't think he would take it so seriously. So this is how karma bandhan is without realizing. Because was there a tyaga in it? No, there was no tyaga. It was only mischief. So that resulted in some consequence for me. But when you do an action as a with a bhava, with this bhavana of tyaga, then you are not going to be caught in this karma bandhana, is what Krishna is saying. And that is why he's saying it is free. Somebody who gets in a lot of trouble, no, they really want freedom. They say, "Oh, I just want to come out of this trouble continuously. Have this is happening, then that is happening. This chain of events are taking place. I just want to withdraw from it." Well, it's simple. Krishna is saying there's a freedom. Just pull yourself out of the equation. Offer everything to the divine as a tyaga and just watch how things turn. Let us see. Krishna goes
Sir,
on. Yes, sir.
sir,
Dinesh, he wants to
okay.
add something. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to ask something.
Ji.
So, behind every karma, there should be something which one should be expecting. Otherwise, how he will going to perform that?
Great,
That is
great
the
point.
thing, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dinesh ji has asked a very good point. What should be the
Hello.
motivation or drive, isn't it, sir? Behind the karma.
Correct, correct, sir.
Yes, yes.
Correct.
It will come in this adhyay. Krishna is going to share just a few shlokas later. Because right now he is saying
Okay.
first is don't have, if we are not supposed to have expectations, then what should we have? How will we, otherwise I will just feel that I don't need to do anything.
Correct. Correct. Yes.
So when somebody had once read like actually my Guruji only had read Yoga Vashishta when he was very small. So when he was very small, he read that book and he was like, what is this dialogue between Vasishtha Rishi and Ram? He says, Ram, you are also not there. I am also not there. This conversation is also not there between each of us. He just closed the book and kept it. He said, what is the logic? What is the, how do I practically implement it? So this question, what should be our drive? This is addressed by Krishna. What when the I would if you want to actually see the shloka number, it will be in the 20th shloka where Krishna is giving us in the 20th shloka of this adhyay, but we will come to it very shortly.
Sure, sure.
Ji, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So this system of sacrifice has been created in the Bhuloka or in the Srishti itself. That is what Krishna is saying. We must all have heard no pain, no gain, isn't it? So something like that. Let us see what Krishna says here. He says, Saha yajnaha prajaha srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvamesha vos vostvishtashva kamadhuk. Brahma, the progenitor, through the act of sacrifice, bore the first living beings and put forth this edifice. He said, as from sacrifice, you all originated through sacrifice, your life's evolution will be actuated. The creation of the Srishti, during that time, Brahma himself created this rule, is what Krishna is saying. Through an act of sacrifice, only this or life came into existence. It was sacrifice that created life. What is this sacrifice? Again, in the Gita, it is looked after in detail in the later adhyayas. What is the Adi Yajna? What is the Adi Karma? Who is the Adi Deva? These are questions our Arjuna is going to ask. But right now, Arjuna is not very concerned about all of it. He is looking at certain things which are going to first practically give him certain immediate answers. So Krishna has not dwelt too much into this. But he has said this was the Srishti's rule. With sacrifice only, you have originated from sacrifice. Through sacrifice only, you will grow. Now, how many of us have grown because of the sacrifices we've made?
I think
Everyone is.
we've all grown from the
Everyone.
sacrifices that our parents have made,
Yes. Oh, that
that
is also
teachers have
lovely.
made as well.
That's true.
Beautifully said. Yes. So not only our own sacrifices, but also the sacrifices of so many people. Sometimes we are connected, sometimes we are not connected with them also. For
There is
instance,
always collateral. Collateral
yeah,
damage is always there.
collateral damage and this yagni,
This
that is
like
true.
sexy sacrifices.
Yes, yes, yes. And if you see, and this world itself is connected to sacrifice. Look at scientists and innovators. They devote their lives in research. They devote their lives in research to bring out some understanding of things. They create something, and then what happens? They spend 20 years to do research, and that particular thing becomes obsolete within 20 months, isn't it? Then is that a waste of that person's life? No, it is not. Science has gone ahead. A friend of mine is a colorectal surgeon in the UK. He shared something very interesting. He said, whenever we fail as doctors and a patient is not survived in our operation, we all gather together trying to understand what went wrong. But the doctors also say, see, what has gone ahead is knowledge has gone ahead. We are ensuring this mistake or this thing will not happen. We establish protocols when things are set up. Because sacrifice only. Today we are reading Bhagavad Gita because of what? Because of sacrifice. Maybe people we are connected with in our life, they would have sacrificed for that. But there are so many people we don't know. So many people who have sacrificed their lives so that a day may come when in Bharat people will be able to read Bhagavad Gita because there were so many Akrantas who wanted to destroy our backbone. This was one of the scripture which was attacked the most. Today also it continues to be attacked. So many weird translations, distortions of truth, they continue, and yet the search is still going on. So many souls come again and again in search of the Gita. It is like a beautiful journey. Like, for instance, now we are in a platform, which is a platform developed by whom? We do not know. So many scientists would have developed this digital platform where we can connect. But it is so beautiful, isn't it? It is in the comfort of our homes we are able to sit. So we should say namaste to those great scientists also who allowed us to come to this position. So this aspect, Krishna is saying that sacrifice will only allow you to grow ahead, because if you don't do that sacrifice, you cannot, because this is how the world has been created. Look at our own lives. How many times we have made sacrifices, and those sacrifices only have taken us ahead, isn't it? I remember my friends calling me out to play, and no, I have to study. My face would be very sad because I have to study and not go out to play. But because I could study, I could go ahead. If I had not done that little sacrifice, maybe I would not be able to understand certain concepts. So this is the basic rule of the Srishti, as Krishna says. Tyaga has to be done, yajna has to be done, or this sacrifice. This is sacrifice is one thumb rule of this universe. You sacrifice, then you go ahead. Let us see further. Krishna goes on. He says, Devan bhavayatanena te devo bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreya parama vapsyatha. Through sacrifice, the gods you can bolster and call upon their blessings with your fervor. Thus, mutually you can together advance. With the supreme blessings, all life you can enhance. So, Krishna is talking about this Srishti has been created by Brahma. In such a way, there are the Devas, the typal beings, the beings who are in the status of God. And then there are the mortals. Both have been created. So, what do? He says, you offer your prayers to the Devas. What is going to happen? The energy and consciousness from your prayers is going to reach the Devas. They will receive those energies. And what will they do? They will bless you again. They will bless you so that you rise. So this paraspara mutual advancement of both will take place. Even the gods will keep advancing, so will the humans also. That is what Krishna is telling here.
Kind of commensalism.
Yes, yes, Ji?
Kind of commensalism.
Yes, absolutely. There's some kind of symbiotic relationship, isn't it?
But
Gods are also going to rise with the prayers and the fervor offered by man, and man is going to receive the blessings, and man will also advance. In Gurukuls also, how is it like that? It is similar, isn't it? The Shishya offers everything at the feet of the Guru, and what does the Guru do? The Guru doesn't take it. He again uses it for what? For again betterment and progress. So that way, the ideal of the Guru is also taken ahead. Shishya also grows in his consciousness by the grace of the Guru. Something like that. Krishna goes on. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha tairdattam pradayebhyo yo bhungte stena eva saha. When through sacrifice the gods you impress, all your desired enjoyments they shall bless. These enjoyments to the Supreme who doesn't offer, such a person is not but a thieving beggar. Krishna is giving very strong words. To whom? Well, to those who have now offered to the Devas, they have received from the Devas the varas, or they have received the blessings, or the prasad from the Devas. So, whoever is receiving that but is not offering to the divine, he's taking it as own. Such a person is nothing but a thieving beggar, is what Krishna. Not just a beggar, but a thief also, because he's been begging, and getting the grace of the divine, and then trying to claim that grace as his own or her own. So this is something which Krishna is saying. Remember always, even what you get from the divine as a blessing, don't try to take possession of that also, because all belongs to the divine. Get that attitude, otherwise that is not worth it at all. You have not understood even the basic essence is what Krishna is saying. Such a person is just like a thief and a beggar also at the same time. At home also, anybody has heard of this word Naivedyam? What is that, anyone?
It is offering to the
Prasad we offer
gods.
to.
Yes, Prasad is offered to the divine, isn't it? It is prepared. It is prepared for the divine only. And first his offering is always to the divine. And then what do we do after offering the divine?
We distribute
We all
among
We
have
all.
to.
distribute it among all, isn't it? Many times, if the Naivedyam is very tasty, children start running towards that before it is offered. The mother has to give a rap on the knuckle, "Ki, not now, wait." And many times, children get angry and say, "What? God is not going to eat? No, I am only going to eat." This is a very common dialogue, isn't it? Because we have freedom in our Sanatan Dharma. Children ask all obnoxious questions, but they are welcome because that is always right. Then we teach them no, you have to first offer to the divine, divine takes. Then what does it teach? It teaches self control to little children also. It understands that I am not the owner, it has to be offered. That bhava must be understood. It is so important to do that. So the very similar thing we see in the next shloka of the Gita. Krishna says, Yajnashishta shinaha santo muchyante sarvakilmishaihi bhunjate te tvagham papa ye pachantya ye pachanti atma karanat. After the sacrifice, whatever is the undistributed leftover, the good who are free of sin eat the oblation's remainder. The evil offer only to themselves to eat the food and only consume sin. Their actions accumulate no good. So, this is a beautiful aspect. Here, Krishna is saying, after the sacrifice, whatever is undistributed left over, the good who are free of sin, meaning these are not, what is the sin here? Sin is the sin of greed, the sin of greed. Those who are free of greed, what do? They give it to all. We have this importers of our Ayurvedic medicine. The founder who was there, her name was Dakshina. She is no more now, but Dakshina is the name of a Vedic goddess whose job is to distribute to the right shares to all the devas, and she was a great distributor only. From our Ayurvedic products from this village here would travel across the world because of her work. So something like that, we must understand that our job is to whatever grace we receive, we must not try to hoard it. Instead, what was Krishna doing with the butter? He was distributing it, isn't it? He was not eating himself. Yes, yes, exactly. So whoever is not, only after giving everybody their shares, when you take your share, then you are going to get the highest punya because you have given it to different people who really deserve it. But what about those who don't do that and simply eat? Well, they are not just eating the prasad, they are also eating greed with it. That enters that bhava also. They lose that bhava, their actions become greedy. They keep trying to, in life also, that is how their approach becomes. It is very simple actually how a person's personality development is like from childhood. If just the simple things are corrected, it can make a huge difference in the quality of life. Sometimes people have all the things that are needed, but because of the greed, they are not able to enjoy even a slight moment of peace. And then there are people who don't have most of the things, and yet they're enjoying such wonderful experiences of life because of the gratitude they have. So, this is the difference. What comes to you from the divine, don't hoard it, distribute it to the right places because that will only elevate your consciousness. Krishna goes on, he says, Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha. यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यो यज्ञः कर्म samudbhava. This is a very interesting shloka. From the food, the living being's existence is found, and food is formed when rain falls on the ground. And rain comes from the sacrifice or yajna, and sacrifice originates through works or karma. If you see, Food, food is what is the source of our entire existence is food, isn't it? Animals and plants, whatever it is. Anvij has asked something. We'll come to that point in a moment. From food, but it will be ideal if you can unmute and ask also. It's sometimes I miss out the words. So from the food, the living being's existence is found, meaning our life sustenance can be sustained without food? No. Plants, we have to eat, they have to grow. How will the plants grow? When there is vrishti, when there is rain. And when is rain going to come? Rain is going to come from the sacrifice or yajna. Now, what is the symbolism here? Sacrifice is also symbolic with the fire, isn't it? How does fire lead to rain, anybody? What is the logic in this?
Sunlight
Water
evaporating
cycle.
in the
Yes, it? The water cycle.
The water
yes.
cycle.
Yes, yes, isn't it? Absolutely. It is like an ecological niche, isn't it? Fire leads to then it brings rain through condensation. But how is fire started? How is the fire lit? By actions, isn't it? By karma. So Krishna is trying to give us a full cycle here. Means yagna. Elsewhere also Krishna will talk about lighting of the agni. It does not mean just lighting some fire. There is an agni inside of us also. Ayurveda says that it's called Jadhara Agni.
Vaishwana.
And Gayatri ji has told one more, Vaishwanara, that is the
Vaishwana.
universal. Vaishwanara is the universal flame present in every living being that keeps us going, that motivates us to do things. So, how does that fire burn inside? Through karma. And Krishna is trying to give a beautiful ecological niche, meaning if you first to light fire also, you are going to first do actions. See, even if you are calling it a physical fire, you'll have to gather the what samagri that is required. You have to get the sticks, you will have to find the grita, then you will have to light it. And then what does that? That for that leads that fire, then we have studied, we have looked at the water cycle also. And that is how the entire universe is connected. I think it was Anviji. Is it that question I think got covered? Is it Anviji? Because I think it pops up on my screen and your question disappears from the comments. All right, it has got covered. Let us continue. Now, but many of them feel I don't want to follow the sacrifice principle. I don't want to distribute to people. Why should I distribute? That is a question some people ask. Why? I want to consume. I will. People who are greedy are there, no? They would say, I don't like this principle of sacrifice at all. Why should I sacrifice? Well, the next shloka is for them. Krishna says here, Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartaya tihayaha aghayur indriyaramo mogham partha sajivati. He who follows not this universe's wheel and succumbs to whatsoever his senses feel is based in his pursuit of sensual enjoyment. O Arjuna, such a life is but a wasted predicament. Krishna is saying, somebody who says, I don't believe in sacrifice, I am not going to sacrifice at all. What is going to happen to such a person? Such a person is going to say, if I don't have to sacrifice, I will follow my senses, whatever my whims, whatever my desires are, I will follow them. What will happen to such a person? The person will run after the desires, but will the desires get fulfilled? No. And in that process of running after desires, it's like a dog chasing its own tail, isn't it? How many circles will that dog run? After a while, that dog is going to run out of energy. Just like that, a person's life is spent, and such a life is also a wasted life. That is what Krishna is saying. It is a wasted opportunity of existence running after desires without sacrificing at all. That is one important principle Krishna has told here. Also, if we don't sacrifice, say a student says, I don't like to study mathematics at all because it is boring. No matter what the teacher says, the student does not study at all. What will happen then? Ultimately, the student will have to drop out, isn't it? And then what will, because, and this is not out of personal choice, it is just out of not wanting to take the efforts. Then it is a waste, isn't it? Say a drunkard, he decides, I don't want to work anymore, I just want to drink. What is going to happen to such a person? The person may feel good, high for some time, but Slowly the internal organs will get destroyed, isn't it? In our factory only, one staff, her husband drank to his death. Two staffs' husbands drank to death. Unfortunately, Pondicherry has Sri Aurobindo's ashram also. It has also cheapest alcohol in the country as well. So a lot of people go into the wrong directions. And this person drank absolutely to the death only. In the stupor, he actually took something else thinking it was alcohol. It turned out to be some floor cleaning solution, and he drank that, and that ended his life. What a kind of waste of life is that? Just running after desires, because that is the strong moha of this, of the what we call maya of this srishti, which will take a person away without the knowledge of that individual. That is why we must learn that senses can take us absolutely astray. And that is why we have to be alert. Instead, we must focus on not becoming a prey to the senses. Instead, seek something which is a higher truth, which is going to be eternal, which is going to be Shashvat. That is what Krishna talks about. He goes on further. He says in the 17th shloka, he says, Yastva atmaratir eva syad atma truptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtas tasya karyam na vidyate. But he who revels in the delight of the self and lives joyously contented within the self, such an illumined and awakened person very joyfully exists, as his need for work to be done no longer persists. Such a person who is getting this trupti, the Atma trupti, who is already enjoying in the bliss of the divine, who is understanding that truth of the divine, and who is experiencing it and relishing it, is going to live in a very satisfied manner. You will not see that person restlessly running after things. Instead, this person is going to be in a state of ananda. I think many times we have seen yogis and sages always we'll see a serene, blissful smile on the faces, isn't it? Many, sometimes we don't even see them in person, but we know that we see their photos, and the photos only give us calm feeling because looking at that beautiful smile, you're like, what is that? What is that beautiful smile? How has it come? Well, that is the Atma Jnana. Atma Jnana that has come to such a seeker. And it comes very easily. The highest truths also start descending into that being who has reached that state, who has become, has got great self control. Praptam Paramapadam Siddham Sahaja Sukham. It will come so easily when that person is reveling in the self, in the supreme self. Such a person, such an illumined and awakened person very joyfully exists as his need for work to be done no longer persists. This is also very interesting. This person does not need to do work, does not mean this person does no work. A great distortion is done here also. Think of the divine and don't do any work. What is going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. Krishna has already told that. He has told in the Gita the importance of doing karma. But that need, sometimes people have the need to prove themselves. You don't know how busy I am. These are dialogues people keep saying. They have to tell themselves also, I am so busy, I am so important, all the time trying to do something because they're having some obsessive need to do things. But this yogi just does not feel that obsessive need to prove to people or to self because that person is trupta. God will give that person sometimes more work than required also. But first thing is that person must be ready to do the divine work. For doing that, the individual will have to become quiet on the inside. Krishna says, Naiva tasya krutenartho na kruteneha kaschana na chasya sarvabhuteshu kashit arthavya pashraya. Such a great one has nothing to be gained neither in performing actions nor in inaction. Nothing exists thus in all of existence that can bind him with dependence. This is so beautiful. This person is so free that there is nothing in the world that can bind that person. It's actually such a person is free at all times. You can't lure that person away from the path that person has taken. That person has understood the direction of life. There is absolute clarity. There is no need for that person to keep doing work. Same way, there's no need for that person to not do work also. He is there in that beautiful poise. And there's nothing that person needs to gain also. He's already achieved everything. So there's nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Both states he has already come into that state. And this person is free. This is actually a beautiful state if we can reach in our life. We will be so contented. We will get the direction in our life also, whichever place, whatever work we are doing. Because we will see later in the Gita how this entire world is a dynamic kshetra of forces where the divine is at play. We are having, means it's like in one place, and wherever you are, at that place, you can get all the necessary help that is needed for you to go ahead in life. But for that, you have to become quiet on inside. And for that, you have to not run after this. Because many times people get bound. People get bound by so many things, by personal desires, personal ambitions, sometimes by swartha or selfishness, sometimes by ahankara. Sometimes people get bound by praise also. Do you agree? Praise also, people praise, oh, you are such a good person. Yeah, okay, okay. And then you do the work. That person knows.
Flattering.
Flattering, exactly. Not just any, sometimes biggest people also who are on the top of the world also. Sometimes presidents of the biggest countries in the world, most powerful countries also, because some trophy is going to be given to that person. That person goes, yes, I am the best. I need that trophy. It's shining well. Bound, absolutely. This is not how a person who is free is. Yogis will laugh at such naive appearances. They will understand such people are about to fall. This is the this is what we can say at the crest, and then there's going to be a trough. Some just cycle goes on. So these people are free. They are what Krishna is in the Gita. The free people can be referred to as the Jivan Muktas. The exact word may not be used, but it is the meaning of becoming free in life. Means Gita is a grantha which is having a power to make people jivan muktas wherever we are, at whatever place we are, whatever situation we are, whatever circumstance we are, we can become free. These principles are there in the Gita for all. So such a person, nothing can bind such a person with dependence. That is why Krishna says तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः. So Krishna says, so perennially perform all your actions. Detachedly fulfill the duties that life sanctions. For when man in detached action engages with his karma, he transcends the highest stages. I repeat once more, Perin Krishna's advice is when is he asking? He's always Satatam Karyam Karma Samachara. At all times, he's saying at all times you have to do. So perennially perform all your actions. Detachedly fulfill the duties that life sanctions. For when man in detached action engages with his karma, he transcends the highest stages. Meaning, life is going to throw things at you. Duties also, sometimes you are going to get favorable duties. Sometimes you're going to get very troublesome postings. That will also come to you in life. But whatever it is, perform all the duties that come to you. And do that detachedly is what Krishna is saying because they become a means. Look at them as an opportunity. If you're having a difficult moment also in life, understand that. Because only when you engage in detached action, then you can transcend. How can you transcend? With karma. Don't you agree? Sometimes circumstances make us do things in life which we don't want to do. Yes or no?
Happens.
Yes.
Any example anybody would like to share? Any circumstance which forces us to do things.
It can be anything, really.
Yes, yes, yes. Just for example, something if we can recollect.
I don't know. It can be the most mundane of things, you know. It's raining, it's snowing, the bins have to go out,
Yes,
heavy bins, rubbish bins. You
yes,
know what I
yes,
mean?
yes, yes.
Normally, it's the other party doing it. They're
Mhm.
not around. Guess whose turn it is? It's got to be
It,
done. Do it.
we have to do it, isn't it? We have to
Yeah.
do it. Even if it is something you don't like doing, you must do it, Krishna is saying. Because when you do that, then only you are going to transcend to the highest stages. Sometimes it's like circumstance really change the entire thing, meaning you have a life perspective, you have an understanding of life, you believe life must go in a particular direction, and then something happens and the equation changes. The one
Yeah,
you
it's
want to.
like
Yes, please tell me, Ji.
yeah, it's like cricket. Whatever, whichever type ball you get, you have to bet accordingly.
Okay, that's a nice example. Yes, Gayatri ji. So yes, yes, yes. Sometimes we get very unfavorable duties. You sometimes you will not even dream that the situation will come to you. The least expected situation may come to you. But even at that time, you can't lose heart. You can't suddenly become emotional, and this is not what I wanted from life. Why me? Why did this happen to me? What great sin have I done that I have got this upon me? These are all questions of the disturbed mind. That is the first adhyay, isn't it? We have all crossed the first adhyay now. We are no more in Arjuna's depression. We have understood that things happen for a reason. So why not embrace those difficult moments also? It could be anything. A friend of mine, she said, I thank God for the cancer that I got. I've seen her chemotherapy treatment. I saw her transform from very pretty girl to suddenly all her hair is gone and so many marks all over her bodies because of the injections and all. And she was somebody I know who was scared of even a single needle. She didn't like injection at all. Now so many such things. And such transformation, then she had to take medication, and in the chemotherapy there was a risk of a secondary cancer coming. Then during that time she was having so many complications that food was not being, she had to be fed through a tube and whatnot. So much trouble was going on. Her appearance also changed. She put on a lot of weight as a side effect of the medication. It was all crazy. Nobody can find anything good in that. But this was a dialogue she told me at the end, and I had the good fortune to be associated with her during that entire period. And that time, she also inspired me while writing this book as well. That was something very interesting. But when she told this dialogue, it really was, how can somebody say thank you for it? Well, she says her entire life in the 10 months or 12 months of the therapy, she says she aged so much life experience she got from close, and she advanced so much after that. So this is how we should be. We cannot protect, we cannot predict also, isn't it? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, all these things are not in our control at all. It happens in life. Yet whatever comes to us, we have to take it as a duty of the divine, given by the divine, and work. Krishna says here, when you do that, you transcend. So this person, this friend of mine, she then immediately became a symbol, symbol of inspiration for so many other friends. She was covered in a journal. About her, the story had come. How she was like, she during the hospital time, she started making small quilling earrings from paper. And she sold it. Other friends would take wonderful photos and that would get sold. And that whatever was sold from that, that was brought, she brought balloons and other things for the children in the cancer ward in that same hospital. Look at that. Doctors are also getting inspiration from her. Isn't that beautiful? This is how we should be fulfilling whatever duty comes to you. We can't choose, isn't it? If you are working in an organization, you are a sincere worker of that organization and you have full trust in the organizer, what will you do then? then you will do whatever duty is given. It is something like that. The greatest organizer is not man, but divine only. And so when the organizer gives us some work, let us stand to it and perform the duty. Because when we do that, then we can evolve, then we can transcend to the highest stages. And here comes the, I think, question which Dinesh ji had asked us, what will be the motivation? What is the motivation for such people who have advanced? Krishna gives here. He says, कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकः संग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि. King Janaka and the rest attained perfection. Krishna is giving an ideal example. But it is very beautiful how Krishna is choosing Raja Janaka as the example. He could have told any other Rishi, he could have told Narada's name, he could have told Kapila Muni's name, he could have even given Vyasa's name as an example. But no, he says Raja Janaka. The we can say a real monk in the Ferrari or the king in or king monk, whatever name we want to call him. Because he was the one. King Janaka and the rest, like him, there were so many. They attained perfection, siddhi, highest stage of evolution that man can reach by their sadhana. How did they do it? Only through their works and liberated action, means through their karmas and through their liberated action, meaning mukta actions. Then what is the drive for all of these people? Krishna says, detached actions for the sake of the world are best. This is said to be the true yogic way by the wisest. Loka Sangraha. This, why are you doing this? Well, for the betterment of the world. What is your drive? My drive is betterment of the world. I want to make the world a better place. Is there a limit to this? Is there a limit to betterment of the world? That means we have found a great continuous motivation for us to work. Why are you doing? Well, why are you doing an artwork? Because I want to make something better in the world. Why are you doing cleaning up in place? No, I want to make the world a better place. This simple identification of our life's mission with Loka Sangraha can elevate us to that point of the Janaka also. We don't need to run after certain secrets of how to become wealthy, how to become rich, or how to become best. You will automatically become by your karmas only. But while you are doing the karmas, keep ensuring that your is this karma leading to betterment of the world? Is this karma adding something better? It will allow you to, it will motivate you so much. And this can be done at any place, isn't it? For example, Dr. Abdul Kalam's mother did not do research, did she? What was her aspiration? She wanted to create a child, a universal child, a child who would be, you know, who would be someone who is going to be ready for the world. And indeed, she gave birth to a universal child, isn't it? She raised him that way, who had a wonderful perspective where people get inspired. Even now, so many years later, people still draw inspiration from him, from his way of life, the way he led. How did that happen? Well, that is the duty. What was that mother doing? His mother was doing Loka Sangraha only. She did not teach him to be selfish. She didn't teach him to be narrow-minded. So that aspect became Loka Sangraha. It benefited so many people. It is that simple aspect. Wherever we are, somebody at a petrol bunk station also can do Loka Sangraha just by offering this service in a proper manner, isn't it? Can there be a higher purpose in service? And can we evaluate and quantify service? No, we cannot. Whatever service is service, which is higher, which is lower. Is a doctor more important than the nurse or a technician? No, it is not. Maybe pay grades are different for everyone. That is different, all right. But importance of work? Not at all, not at all. All are equally important because if they are all working for Loka Sangraha. And if that is the drive, you will never go wrong. So I think, Dinesh, this is the drive which has been kept in front by Krishna. Is this okay? Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, that is
Uh,
fine. But
Yes.
how much one look so far. I mean,
In the
one
sense,
is, yeah, in the sense one is self occupied while performing his action. He is just thinking about, he or she just thinking about how he or she will going to get the fruits from whichever karma he or she is
yes,
performing.
yes,
So
yes.
how there is, how he will be performing karma, thinking betterment of people.
The world, betterment of the
Yeah,
world. But
yes,
that is, so that is from the individual perspective. There is a need to become a little bit global to understand that. And because we have had an education from childhood, because we look at advertisements also everywhere, every point we are, most of the conversations we have with people also, that also reinforces the attitude that no, I have to be myopic, I have to see what is going to happen in means Marathi, they would ask when you wanted to do some service, they will say Lashkarache bhakra bhajtoy ka. That was the question that was asked to me by an elder. Are you trying to make bhakri for the Sainya? Means that is the meaning. That is actually we are trying to do social service and waste your life. But if you look at it in essence, if the army is there and you are going to make food for the and provide it for the army, is that not a good? Is that not something very nice? But
obviously.
but the perspective will have to change, and it will not change overnight. But we must somehow understand. And really speaking, once we start trying this slowly, we don't have to overnight or immediately do it, but at least keep that in mind because then a different world comes to sight. A different world comes to sight. I remember when I was in college, I was so frustrated because everything I wanted to do things because I wanted to get certain results, and I felt by 21, if I don't achieve what I have to, my life is waste. I don't know how that I put in my head. So there was a continuous tick, 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 tick clock going on in my head. And no, I have not yet reached. My MSc must come from this college only. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. I kept myself in extreme pressure. So much that it kind of almost fried my head. Luckily, I got my guru, and then it took some time. It took some time. This is something 15 years ago I was saying. But that time also, there will be doubts, there will be questions. How will this lead to? But if we just understand that if I'm running after something which is immediately coming to me or with a as expectation of getting results, that may give me some short-term results, but in the long term, it's not going to help. Like even the world's, we can say, if you see results, the rich people in the world talk about what my time is money. I must get something. If I put my this much time, I must get something in return. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. And so there is a person who has reached the state of richness which nobody in the world will reach in maybe another 20 years, 30 years, or 40 years. He's the richest man in the world, but he has also he put a message: money can't buy happiness, and a sad smiley. That too in the middle of the night because he's not able to sleep peacefully. Because this aspect of every time just looking at what is going to come immediately to me, because and we can't control also, no? Just because we want something, do we get that? Do people give us what we want? That also is not in our hand. So Krishna is asking us to slowly uncondition ourselves from the aspect, and this is something which is not so modern also. Arjuna also was being told the same thing, no? 5,000 years ago. He was also thinking that he needs some returns. I need to see this action giving me some fruit. I need to get some punya. This is going to bring me papa. Why should I do this yuddha? Why should I take this step? But at least as of now, Krishna has introduced. We still don't know if Arjuna will accept what Krishna says. Because last Adhyay we saw entire thing Arjuna said, I don't understand anything. It is not making sense. And he says, don't confuse, don't talk on both sides. Tell me one thing. So we'll see if this, but the point Krishna has told us, one good motivation is Lokasangra. And one very nice thing is if we are able to understand our role in Lokasangra, we will be very much self-motivated also. Even if in extreme darkness also, just they say, no, one lamp is enough. One lamp is enough to throw away all darkness to give light. So in your heart, if you understand why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Well, it is for something better, some betterment. And we may not get a result also. We may not understand. Like there was a story of a poet. One poet wrote some of the most beautiful poems, but nobody in the world knew about him. He passed away with those poems only. Nobody came to know about it. But in it, I'll try to find the name. Well, when I find it, I will share the name of the poet also. But something happened almost 100 years later, and the West, one great educationist saw those papers somebody was having in one shop, and then that poem suddenly became alive after so many years. This is how the universe works. The scientist who talked about genetics first time is Gregor Mendel. His rules of genetics. Throughout life, nobody understood what was his, what was the point of what he's doing. Everybody felt it was silly and stupid. But he did what he wanted to do, and later on, that became the foundation. So, foundation of modern genetics, his principles. So, this aspect of let us try to keep Lokasangra as our drive, then we will not feel disheartened, because that is one more aspect. When you are doing it, you are no more like for example, we talked about like cleaning. We had something like a cleaning drive running around in Pondicherry, the same place we are coming and we are picking trash every week. Same place we are seeing diapers, glass bottles, everything. And it's been going on for 1 year. People say, what are you getting from it? You're not getting anything from it. But if we don't pick up, nobody is going to pick up. So we are picking. And then slowly people joined. It became a movement. A lot of people joined. Then after some time, the movement people became less. It's just a life cycle. Somebody who is driven by action of results would not be able to do sustained action. So for sustained action, because ultimately, I think if we can actually probably, since this is an important point, we'll stop at this. To 20th shloka only we stop here. But it is in discipline only we will be able to achieve greater things. Means karma is important. Karma should not be forgotten, but the direction of karma should be lokasandra. And just one last thing, if I were to add, is that the best pianists in the world, they are means the top one, top two, top three, who are supposedly the most celebrated ones. There was a scientific research that was done on what was separating the top three, four pianists from the rest. Because skill level is up to one particular level, you can say skill works. But after that, the simple aspect was the number of hours they had put in the practice. The one who was on the absolute topmost level had put in several more hours compared to the other. That was all that made a difference. So if we want to have a drive, we will have to do the karma. But if we keep this as Lokasangra, probably it should help us. Yes, sir. So I think with this,
Uh,
Pankaji wants to add something. Yes, sir. We can
Yeah,
add
yeah.
that.
So, oh, sorry,
I
Kulkarni sir, you can go ahead, please.
Yes, please. Okay,
uh,
sir.
okay, thank you. So I just wanted to just narrate a story or some kind of thing which you just mentioned about the APJ Abdul Kalam
Yes, sir.
and taking this Lokasangra. The story or you would say something about his life. Somebody asked him that what is the most satisfying moment of your life.
Hmm.
So people thought that APJ Abdul Kalam will say that when he developed the rocket and it was launched, or somebody thought that he will say when I became the president of India, something like that. But he mentioned a very beautiful thing. He said, we in our space technology developed one kind of material which was very light and tough, and it was used for the rocket because it requires the lighter material for the rocket and the toughest the material. He said, when I went to a home where the differently able children were that means staying or living, he saw those children because they were not able to walk because of their disability. They were wearing the cripples, which were very
Yeah.
heavy, very heavy. That means
Ah,
almost
okay.
4 kg of weight on each leg. So he thought at that time that why not that material we should use, and those cripples were developed, and those weighed only 400 grams per leg instead of
Wow.
4 kg, and the same material was used for doing that. So it's a
Yes.
beautiful example of the whatever we were saying about a lok sangra and all this. So he
Yes, sir.
used this knowledge, technology, everything for the betterment of those. And he said that was the most satisfying moment of my
Wow.
life.
Oh,
When
lovely.
those children won that, and they were so happy, they started walking, running, and were enjoying. And the most satisfying moment, the satisfying moment was that those children's happiness.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing this beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful story for us to remember. Yes, sir. Pankaj, you were adding something? Then we look at the summary. Yes, please.
Yes, yes. So भाई साहब का मैं नाम भूल रहा हूँ जिन्होंने क्वेश्चन रेज किया था एक्चुअली कि
Dinesh ji.
व्हाट इज द मोटिवेशन फॉर अ पर्सन टू डू कर्मा, राइट? और उसके आंसर में हमने ये कहा कि 20th श्लोक में कृष्णा इज सेइंग टू अर्जुना, गिविंग एन एग्जांपल ऑफ राजा जनक
Yes.
फॉर द बेटरमेंट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड.
Yes.
Now, I mean, that could be a very, very high level picture, but
Ji.
probably we can break it down to,
Yeah.
people like us, jiva like us, who are like very, very small creatures. We can do karmas for betterment of our family. Let's start from here,
Okay.
right? वो जैसे कहते हैं ना, एक कहावत है कि भगवान सबका भला करो,
And
लेकिन शुरुआत मुझसे करो.
yes, yes, yes.
So,
And
we can start with betterment of our own family,
absolutely.
and then go to the
Yes.
society and to the nation, and
Yes.
of course evolve.
Yes, and we should. That is nice that as long as if we start from a family also, it's like you want to clean the world, start by cleaning your backyard.
Right.
But if we restrict ourselves to family, it will become Mama Kaha Pandava Shiva and new
Yeah.
Kurukshetra will begin, which we do not want. That is all we have to be careful. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for that
Yeah.
great
Of course.
input. Yes.
I
So if
just wanted to share
yes,
if
sir.
time
Okay,
permits.
sir.
If time permits.
Okay, sir. One more thing we can
Shall
look
I?
at it.
Shall I?
Of course, sir. Of course, sir. Please welcome, sir.
Ah,
Yes, sir.
no, it's a real story. I
Ji.
mean, I used to work with Bajaj Auto.
Yeah.
Our chief executive technical, Mr. Deshmukh.
Ji, sir.
He got retired and he was 75-year-old. He used to go in the morning walk. So at a nearby railway station, because he could not judge that the train is coming, and he fell down. The train passed on his two legs. Two legs were
Oh.
amputated. Both legs were there.
Okay, sir.
And then the Jaipur foot was put there. To be put there.
Okay.
You know that Jaipur foot.
Yeah, Jaipur foot.
I just went. I went to meet him. I mean, and believe me, what he was trying to tell when that fellow came, Jaipur foot, for putting the feet on his legs, he was explaining him the engineering part and how it can be better, and the movements can be turned so that people will get benefited. I mean,
Wow.
this is where the thing
Great,
comes.
sir.
Rather
sir.
than putting, and
Yes.
when I went, he started explaining me, and he wanted me to have inputs on those things so that it can be made better. And this just I wanted to share. It's a
Okay. All right, sir. Yes, sir. So suddenly some work has immediately come up urgently, and because the time is also up, I think today we will conclude right now. A request if summary can be shared as audio, it would be because the time something very urgent has just come up. I just came to know right now. So I think we can conclude with the Shanti mantra. Yes, please.
Okay.
Hari Om. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम